My name's Patricia DiPiazza, and my husband is Paul, and we've been married 30 years. We live in Silver Spring, Maryland. My husband was a corporate tax attorney for 26 years, and then the past 7 years he was CEO and president of a luxury car dealership, managing about between 5 and 7 dealerships over the period of the 7 years. We have 4 kids, 4 great kids. They're all very successful. They're very involved in their dad's rehab. They have from the beginning. Paul had his stroke in the early morning hours of August 19th, 2015. He had worked a long day. We had traveled to Philadelphia that day. He worked with his general manager all day until about 7:30 at night. He picked my daughter and I up. We had a wonderful dinner. See you in the morning, Lily. And he was going to go back to work. Had some important meetings that day. And in the early morning hours, he got up to go to the bathroom and found he couldn't move his left side, and his speech was very garbled. So, of course, I woke up, called 911. I thought he was probably having a stroke, and the ambulance came, took us to the hospital. And 3 hours later, my children were all up in Philly. We were praying for that he would live, actually. 95% chance they gave us that he would not live. And today, he's walking with a cane, and his speech has greatly improved since then. After a 10-day stay in the hospital, we went from Philadelphia to National Rehab Hospital as an inpatient. He was there for 66 days, where they did an amazing job in really teaching him to walk and to be functional, how to dress, toilet. He could even stand up in the kitchen and make coffee. Could fry an egg. So after 66 days, we went home. For 1 month, we had home care, home health therapy, where we had OT, PT, and speech. Well, there's always the problem of insurance, and eventually all your OT and speech therapy runs out. So we had to think. We know, because Paul was a CEO, that the speech was very important to him and to my children and I, for him. So we started doing research, and we found the Aphasia Center. And after much research about what intensive means, PT, OT, or speech, we wanted to go that route. We saw several programs. I called and talked to Dr. Lori, and timing was really perfect to come here. It was winter, and Paul seemed really excited and he was making huge progress already, 1-to-1 in group at home. So this seemed the perfect opportunity. And after speaking to Dr. Lori for about an hour on the telephone, I was convinced this was going to be a good place for him to come to for the intensive and make more progress than a one-on-one back home. I didn't really know all the impairments there were. And when you're talking to your husband, or my kids are talking to their dad, we fill in a lot. So when we came here, we're thinking, wow, he's going to come home and he's going to be back to normal. We were in La La Land, actually. It is a slow process. Speech, OT, your arm, your leg, it is a slow process. When we got here and he had his evaluation, and I saw the goals that they had set, and I saw the day-to-day progress, I was surprised in 2 ways. I was really happy to see his writing, his speech, and his reading all coming together, and I could see where he was really deficient, because before here he would talk, but we could fill in the verbs. we knew what he was talking about. Now he's filling them in, and so we can see where his impairment is. And this one-on-one classroom session, whatever you want to call it, is proving to be invaluable, because my husband is a student at heart. He can learn fast, and he's going to take this learning and go out into the public and socialize, and it's not going to be perfect, but he is 90% better than he was before we came here. When we got here and we adjusted to in our apartment and coming to the center, we started asking each other, Paul and I, listen, we're living, we're in Florida, what do we like to do? We love the beach. The beach was unbelievably therapeutic, because when you have a weak left side, your feet getting in that sand, touching the water, smelling the fresh air, the breeze, the sun, it proved to be really ideal, more than what we probably had hoped for or even thought about in the beginning. From day one, everybody, the nurses, the doctors, they're going to tell you, take care of yourself. You have to get the rest when they get the rest. You have to exercise when they exercise. You have to also emotionally, it's up and down. Retreat, have someone you can talk to. If you're a believer, you can pray, and you will be uplifted if you spend that time within yourself, coming to grips with this, and then talking. Nothing really has changed with your feelings, except for now you'll find you can care more about each other in a different way, and you have to rely on each other. So it's a mutual care for each other. Even though the caregiver has the most of the burden, it can become a joy to see that person grow.